Good morning, students. So, today we would be discussing the very first chapter of Flamingo, that is the last lesson. Okay, in this chapter, the author gives an importance of patriotism. He says that as to how the love for one's own culture, custom, can do wonders. According to the author, India is a land of people like Mahatma Gandhi and Bhagat Singh, people who devoted their whole life in serving their motherland. But in modern India, the thought have become shadow of the previous self. The word patriotism has faded away from the heart of the youth. The youth remains so much immersed in their own world that they have no interest or intention of reflecting upon the idea of patriotism. However, if they can channelize the energy into something positive, India will surely become a superpower, as there is a lot of potential in the youth of a nation. The youth need to tap their limitless energy in the service of the nation and make an effort for the better and the bright future of India, our motherland. So this was the main theme of the chapter. Okay, according to the chapter, the author Alphonse Daudet, whose nickname is French, he goes to Germany for his higher studies, and this chapter is written during the World War. France was defeated by Germany. As a result, an order comes from Berlin that there would be no teaching of French in the district of Germany. As a result, Mr. Hamel, who had been serving, the teacher of the author who had been serving there for the last 40 years, had to leave the country in one go. So this chapter is all about patriotism and how we can save our culture, our custom. Okay. So I'll be reading this chapter, dear student, one by one, line by line, and then give you the explanation. Fine. The chapter goes this way. It is there on the screen. I started for the school very late that morning and was in a great dread of scolding, especially because M. Hamel had said that he would question us on participle, and I did not know the very first word about them. Okay, the author, he says that he started for the school very late that morning because his teacher, Mr. Emil, had announced that he would be putting up the question on participle. And this little boy, he did not even know a single word about it, and he was afraid of being scolded by the teacher. So he thought that he would bunk his class. Okay. For a moment, I thought of running away and spending the day out of the door. It was so warm, so bright. The birds were chirping at the edge of the wood, and in the open field back of the sawmill, the Persian soldiers were drilling. It was all the much more tempting than the rule of participle, but I had the strength to resist and hurried off to the school. So what does the author says? The author says that for a moment he thought to run away and spend a warm and bright day outside. It was pleasant day. The birds were chirping outside. The German soldiers were making practice, and all this were much more attractive than the rule of participle. But anyhow, he forced himself and he moved to the school. He had the power to control his temptation. Is this clear, student? Fine. When I passed the town hall, there were a crowd in front of the bulletin board. For the last 2 years, all the bad news had come from there. The lost battle, the draft, the order of the commanding officer. And I thought to myself without stopping, what can be the matter now? So the little boy, when he was passing through the town hall, what did he see? He saw that there were crowd in front of the bulletin board. And for the last 2 years, all the bad news like the lost battle, order of the commanding officer were all coming from that notice board. He thought without stopping, what could be the matter there? So he did not stop over there and he moved forward. Okay. The question that comes out from this extract is, what was French expected to be prepared with for the school that day? I'll repeat the question. What was French expected to be prepared with for the school that day? The answer is, that day, French was expected to be prepared with participle because M. Hamel, his French teacher, had said that he would question the class on participle, and this poor little boy, he did not even know the very first word about it. Is this clear? Now, coming to the second question that comes out from this extract that I have just dictated to you is, What had been put on the bulletin board? The question is, what had been put on the bulletin board? The answer is, the bulletin board notified the general public about an order from Berlin. The order was that from the next day, only German would be taught in the school of Alsace and Lorraine, that is in Germany. The new teacher would join the school from the following day, and this teacher would be leaving the school. Is this clear? Okay, now coming to the next page. Okay, this much for today's student, and the next page we'll discuss it tomorrow. Okay, stay home, stay safe.